Hey, what's up, everybody? This is D, chilling with a Sunday swim. Just an update on the Cube tank. Remember the Aqua Springs 11 that had been running for so long with all my mollies in it? I had my clownfish in there in quarantine. Well, guess what? As you can most obviously see, there is only one clownfish in there now. The other one did really well in quarantine, was chilling. I let him out a couple of times. And this gal here just chased him to oblivion. I put him back in quarantine, let him out. Then it did something really funny. It turned on the other Miss Bar that was in there with her. So I may be rehoming this clownfish. It's really peeving me off. But that is what happens in the midst of trying to pair fish. You get a lot of unpaired fish. And then that's one of the reasons why people end up with a lot of tanks, is because you can move them to another tank. Unfortunately, I did have that luxury. I have tanks, but I'm not into having 50 tanks for 50 fish. So it is what it is. Kick the bucket. Rest in peace, other fish. And it is what it is. On a lighter note, as you'll see, got a few pieces of soft coral in this tank that moved from the very heavily overgrown frag system. And they've been doing pretty well. My urchin has been crawling on this one, and now they're like waving downward because it was actually sitting there. I brought this devil's hand from upstairs yesterday, if you can see it, because it had been doing pretty poorly upstairs. It was really good coral, but the tank has gone through a swing. I took a lot of corals out of the tank upstairs. I lost a few soft pieces up there, and I didn't know it was a testament to that filefish had been nipping on the polyps a few months ago and it didn't recover, or if the parameters really got thrown out of whack. So I'm in the middle of going through that with the tank upstairs. And it is what it is. But on another note, you'll see that all the algae is gone. Like I say before, never panic. Let it run its course. Let the fish do their thing. Let the tank cycle. You go through the cloudiness. You go through the algae. You go through the air. You go through everything. It is a great test in patience. It is what it is. There is no instant recipe to doing anything in this hobby. And if you think it is, you will spend a lot of money for nothing. I had been dropping mushrooms like crazy, so I've been moving them to this tank, which probably isn't the best idea because I don't want a whole bunch of corals in this tank. I never planned on putting corals in this tank, but since I'm using the same water parameters between this and the smaller system over here, it's pretty easy to move things back and forth. And as you can see, I have a crap load of Redactus, crap load of mushrooms, and zoas have taken over that egg crate, as well as the pavona is taking over. Look at those pieces since the last video. Don't mind the dusty glass. I let it grow out. It is what it is. The only thing I am concerned about is I'm going to have to get some putty and put some kind of barrier around my little hardcore right there, my SPS there. It is like my Pasillopora may be going under attack. You see the Fabia took a hit, as you can see it encrusting over it right there. This is an aggressive coral, and if you don't have a barrier, they will get into that coral warfare mode. Look at the size of these since the last time I shot it, which was a week ago. They actually have branched within a week, and that's what this one did so many months ago. So gonna keep the tabs on that, but for the most part, I am really getting a kick out of my diamond goby here. I mean, my sand sifter is hours of entertainment. This guy is going to probably be the boss and main feature of the tank, because not only did it clean the hell out of my sand bed, but it is always up in the front. Unlike some that hide a lot, this guy is always swimming in the mid, as you can see right now, and he's always front and center. It does not hide a lot. Check out the tunnels that it made under this rock. It can go from there to the back of the tank. There was one right there. And another good thing, I have not seen a bristleworm in about a week and a half. So between this guy and whatever nature has pulled on me, the bristleworms have been in low mode. Another thing, I have to regularly clean out my little bacterial cycling sponge over there because the salt creep constantly clogs it, probably about every week and a half to 2 weeks, so I'll do that today. GSP, a little piece that I took from pop corals. I had cut it into a few pieces to hide my overflow box, and it has started encrusting on this rock, as you can see if I can get a good shot there. So this tank is coming to life regardless of what I decide to put in it. I originally was going to put like a pair of seahorses in there, and I don't know if I'm going to still do that. I'm still on the fence because it is a really small tank and really not the best home for them. So it's only 11 gallons, so I'm thinking about whether or not I'm going to do that. I did add a fluval little digital thermometer there. You can see the temperature in and out of the tank, 76. And I'm still going with the Aqua Clear 20, which does an excellent job here, just circulating, give me a little bit of flow. It could probably be a little more flow in there, but it's enough for this little tank. And keeping it really well filtered. One only thing is I clean it out regularly because it will build up a lot of detritus as this guy digs, kicks up a lot of sediment into the water column. And you know, these filters really ain't made to catch a lot of sand, so I gotta constantly check that and clean it out. And the only thing, I'm not really using that sponge in there for bacterial, good bacteria. I want to focus my bacterial growth, my healthy bacteria, in the rock. This is a small tank, so the rock should be my main source of bacterial filtration. So I keep cleaning that filter out and looking for any ammonia spikes that may be a result, and so far so good. I did pick up a nice purple hammer over there. It looks more like a torch, but it's supposed to be a hammer, and it has been doing pretty well. I have been feeding it with the reef roids and a little mix of concoction that I mix on my own, and it's just in enough flow to keep it moving and looking nice and colorful. Now I did make another video, which is probably a little premature because I didn't put it out. I changed the lighting, which I will go into more detail in another video. It's not a Ocean Revive, but if you look at it, it has the same spectrum of the Epi LEDs. These are Epi LED modules, not a big name brand fixture. This was a pretty affordable fixture, pretty cheap, under 50 bucks, about 50 bucks, matter of fact, 60. But I look for the LEDs more than I look for the name. I look for the type of LED modules. I look for the dimming issue factors and the controllability, and more importantly, I look for the colors. I'm particularly a fan of reds, and I'm particularly a fan of strong blues. These have the blues and the reds I like, not just blues and whites. And it also, which is good for plant growth, has a few 6500 Ks. It has the regular daylights and the actinic blues, but I like the fact that it has 6500 K bulbs because I have it over 2 tanks, which helps me grow the plants in here. So these are doing all right. I had a dwarf sword that didn't do all right. It melted back. I'm waiting to see if it comes back. But everything else has been growing all right. And I got a few spices over here. Got some oregano over here. Got some plants over here. So it's building up the corner. I'll probably build a little, like a paludarium type of thing, like where you don't see the pots. I'll build a little wooden thing that have it grow over. I like the natural look. But that's what's going on with that. So yeah, this is about the simplest system that you can build. There's no skimmer, but in a system this small, you got to remember, you can remove half of the nutrients just in a water changer. It's only 11 gallons, so a 5-gallon water changer brings the water down to here and removes all your nutrients. Your nitrates get back into sync, your phosphates come to where they need to be, and you have your bacterial colony in the rock that take up the slack. Now what you can also do is if you use a cycling type of bacteria, which for the sake of this, bacterial booster, you can do that when you do your water changes. Not particularly necessary. I'm not into a big gadget and chemical guy, but I did see that it did help with the nutrient export. Change the water, add about 2 mils for this little tank, and it really knocked out that algae growth. I was really getting into that battle with the algae. So I pick it out manually and change the water, pick it out once a week, change the water, and let the cleanup crew do the rest. I have my Mexican turbos in there, and I got my urchin, which I also supplement with algae out of the refugium. I put it on a little clip and I let them eat some algae, make sure that they're healthy and fed. And the tank has responded well. As you can see, they are all just as clear as they can be. The exception of the glass, which I clean. I just cleaned this one. I'll clean this one now. But look at the colors. Bro, look at the colors. I'm trying to get them on the same wavelength. And I'll get there. It's getting there. So this is D giving you an update. Keep it simple. KISS method. KISS method. Learn why things are happening. Be patient. You win some, you lose some. This guy is really a pain in the tuchus, but I guess he's in small quarters with a bunch of fish, which is amazing because he doesn't bother the mollies. He just bothers the other clownfish. Everybody else is fine. Look how small this dude is, and he doesn't bother him at all. So I guess it is what it is, man. This is D. I'm going to sign out, leave you with a shot of the tanks. Love, peace, and hair grease. Keep your tanks. Keep them going. Keep your sanity. Don't get nuts. Take it one day at a time. I'm out. Coming up next, freshwater update.